Good afternoon, I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Cament TV Midday News. The headlines. KONKOLA copper mines sues MILINGO LUNGU. Copper SCUM unearthed as police raid the syndicate hideout. Join me with the details after this commercial. The Agriculture and Commercial Show is back, bigger and better under the theme Innovation Through Technology. And as Cament TV, we are here to transform your business through our technology. Advertise with us on discounted rates during the month of July and during the Agriculture and Commercial Show. Special price package for live stunt interviews, on-screen product placement during the coverage of the show. For more details, call the following numbers. Cament TV, not just another channel. And other media news in detail. Police in Lusaka are investigating a case of theft of goods in transit which was earlier reported on July 28, 2022 around 20 hours as an aggravated robbery. The matter was reported at Matero Police Station by Wadzana Mugore, aged 43, of a Zimbabwean truck driver who was driving a DAF truck registration number GPJP32SRGP white in color.
A sophisticated multi-million crime syndicate in which copper concentrate laden on trucks destined for the international market is being exchanged with sand has been unearthed thanks to quick action by the C5 crack police squad in Lusaka that averted an attempt by the criminals who had area hijacked a truck belonging to WHM transporters with the 34 tons payload worth approximately $800,000. According to the company's spokesperson, Andrew Cheleshe, they noticed an irregular route pattern of their truck through the GPS tracking system, which showed that their vehicle was in the Kabangwe area of Lusaka in an isolated truck yard. Mr. Cheleshe informed Cament TV News that they immediately contacted the police, who raided the yard and found people offloading the copper concentrate contraband and repackaging it into smaller 50-kilogram sacks. The police team also found the suspects loading sand into the 2 tons bags, replacing the copper concentrate and loading it back into the truck. The driver of the truck and the owner of the yard, who were found supervising the reloading of the concentrate, have since been arrested and they are in police custody to help with investigations. A check at the premises, which is a few meters from Kabangwe police checkpoint, found armed police officers guarding the copper. However, police spokesperson Ray Amonga gave an official statement on the matter,
which was earlier reported on the 28th of July 2022 around 20 hours as an aggravated robbery case at Matero Police Station by male Wadzana Mugore, age 43, a Zimbabwean national, who was driving a DAF truck registration number GPJP32SRGP white in color. He reported that he was attacked by 3 male persons armed with a pistol and subsequently stole the truck laden with copper concentrate. Police made a follow-up and interviewed the driver, who could not substantiate his report. Later, a truck was recovered abandoned around Ngwerere roundabout, loaded with black soil, while the copper concentrate was later found in a yard around 9 miles. Police have since detained the driver and 2 guards who were at the yard where the copper concentrate was found. The value of the copper concentrate and details of the owner are yet to be known.
Patrick Soko, Cament TV News.
Two Lusaka residents owning over 16 acres of land in Lusaka's Kabulonga residential area have urged the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to pull up their socks, explaining that there are over 60 plots that have been given out on their title lands so far, and constructions of most of the houses has even completed.
Restoring sanity to the land sector is one huge role that remains to be accomplished by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, as the current picture in Zambia depicts various anomalies. These are two residents of Lusaka's Kablonga residential area who have been left confused after the allocation of plots by the said ministry has been actively taking place on their land, which stretches to over 16 hectares in size. One of the affected, Mr. Otri Chanda, explains that all this has been happening despite the land belonging to his family since 1984 and being on legitimate title. Mr. Chanda explains that the said developers also claim to have title deeds.
We had a problem to sort out. We had conflicts with the Commission of Land. So I was told, somebody told me, okay, let's check the property that we were given, what was possessed from you. So when they made a printout, they said, how is this? Then we discovered that actually the whole repossession was done illegally. There was no notice to re-enter, nothing, there's not a single document on it. So from 2004, I have been fighting with different kinds of commissioners of land.
Meanwhile, Mr. Joseph Mwansa, who is another affected resident, says the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources needs to ensure that order prevails, stating that he has failed to develop his part of the land due to the said wrangles.
The only thing that I do is to come early in the morning to check if there is anyone who have done anything. But I do not have rights to do anything concerning this land. I've spent some money. And I don't understand why the land should give a land which they know already that there is someone. And if indeed this place was theirs, they could have sorted out this issue long time. It seems it's not their land, that's why we are facing this kind of a problem. And when I go to the Ministry of Lands, they have not given me any concrete solution. So we are like stuck. The title deed that I have, it's like just a useless paper because I can't do anything.
The affected residents have called for the matter to be quickly resolved, calling for justice to prevail. Zipporah Mshala, Cament News, Lusaka.
A political scientist, Musiani Sichone, has charged that while the nullification of Kabushi parliamentary seat by the Constitutional Court on 28 July 2022 shows the autonomous of the country's judicial system, the move also compromises the need to formulate progressive laws in the country.
To the dismay of opposition Patriotic Front faithfuls, as 28 July 2022 will go down in the history books of the party following the nullification of the Kabushi parliamentary seat by the Constitutional Court on grounds of electoral malpractice. The move has sparked debate on whether or not the country's legislature will be effective on grounds that opposition members of parliament lack numbers to oppose various happenings in the House. Adding his voice on the matter is a political scientist and political science lecturer at the University of Zambia, Musiani Sichone.
Is a welcome move because first and foremost it shows that the judiciary is acting independently, and not only that, we know that there is a law that we have to follow and that we have to abide by, and the court in this regard found Mr. Lusambo wanting in terms of electoral malpractice, and the evidence according to the courts was overwhelming, and therefore the rule of law has to take precedence, and we have to follow the constitution. But when you look at the flip side of the coin and you look at political parties and what is happening now, we notice that the numbers keep on dwindling in terms of parliamentary representation. What that does is a situation that, for example, let's take for instance that the Kabushi lawmaker loses in the next upcoming election, and now we have the UPND again, the numbers of the ruling party keep on increasing, which again is bad for the principle, for example, of separation of powers, because what we'll see is that now the legislature will be an extension of the executive branch of government, because if the ruling party has overwhelming numbers in parliament, you see that bills will keep on passing without being opposed, because we don't have a formidable opposition to be able to challenge some of the bills that will be coming on the floor, to challenge some of the executive decisions that will be happening in this.
Meanwhile, in the spirit of securing the country's governance system and democracy, Evans Daka is confident that once opposition members of parliament work in unison, progressive laws will be the order of the day.
I don't see our parliament being affected in terms of passing effective decisions. When it comes to the issues of numbers in the parliament, of course we want a competitive parliament. A parliament that is able to debate issues, debate our policies, our laws, so that whatever comes out from there does really reflect the will of the people. But nonetheless, if someone got into parliament based on dubious means, okay, then they don't deserve to be there. And therefore, either way, if it's in the ruling party or in the opposition, that does not matter. If you lose your seat based on the fact that you did not follow the principles of elections as maybe defined in our laws, then you lose it. Okay, Zambians will follow that, respect that, because that is based on the law. Okay, so we need to be very careful as politicians that we should be going to parliament considering the right procedures, considering what the electoral process provides for. So the competition, of course, won't be much because the opposition is the major opposition, which is PF, is losing on numbers. But again, we don't want mere competition in passing laws there. What we want are good laws. So it's possible that we can have a dominant party passing laws, okay, without really having much checks and balances, as long as those laws and policies that are being...
What is the stance of the Patriotic Front after the nullification of the seat?
What happened yesterday is also something good for us. God is saying something to us and to the Patriotic Front. But we can assure you, without any shadow of doubt, Kabushi, we are returning it. Come day, come rain, come sunshine. We are going into Kabushi uncompromisingly. We are going to tell the people of Kabushi the failures of...
Nelson Zulu for Cament News in Lusaka.
In other news, KONKOLA Copper Mines has sued its former provincial liquidator MILINGO Lungu in the Lusaka High Court, demanding payments of $59,336,993 United States dollars to be paid in 3 business days. According to a statement of claim filed before the court, KCM alleges that between July 2019 and March 2022, Mr. Lungu withdrew the said amount from the company for his personal endeavors and failed to account for the said monies. The institution has further submitted that Mr. Lungu opened an account in KCM's name under his sales role is under his sole control, which the company had no idea of the various transactions he conducted without accounting for the monies. Among other claims, KCM wants an order that Mr. Lungu renders an account of all funds belonging to KCM. In this case, KCM has cited MILINGO Lungu and Simwanza and Company as defendants respectively. Well, that news item brings us to the end of Cament TV Midday News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. KONKOLA Copper Mines sues MILINGO Lungu. Copper SCUM unearthed as police raids their syndicate hideout. Thank you for watching. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Good afternoon.